Good morning, members of the media. Thank you for joining us today for attending the press conference at such short notice. My apologies for that. But this morning we're going to be addressing the issue of domestic violence. Of course, that is a major concern in the community. The Bermuda Police Service is about to embark on a new initiative in terms of addressing that issue. But before we do that, we're going to be launching a survey of sorts to gain public information and public awareness of what the situation is, what they know of, what the public knows about the issue, and what they would like to see done about it. So we're going to be launching a survey today, and we're going to be hearing from a number of speakers, hopefully. Initially, the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Darren Simons, as well as perhaps Ms. Sarah Mabry of the Center Against Abuse, Ms. Renee Brown from the Department of Child and Family Services, and colleague, Ms. Maureen True, and possibly as well, the Detective Chief Inspector, Mr. Albert Glassman.
Good morning. Let me just start by saying a few words and invite some of my colleagues to share some thoughts also. Domestic abuse is a serious issue. Bermuda Police Service is committed to improving our response to and how we treat the issue within the community. Along with several of our community partners, including the Center Against Abuse and the Department of Child and Family Services, we are seeking input and active participation from you. This is your opportunity to help shape where we focus our efforts and how we deliver our services to better meet your needs. We're starting with an anonymous survey in order to better understand the problem. The data gleaned from the survey will guide us in how we address the subject of domestic abuse, and more importantly, how we look after victims and help reform those responsible for committing these acts. The importance of your views cannot be understated. The survey will go live today and will run through the end of August. It will take the form of a number of multiple choice questions that seek to gauge the performance of the first responders, such as the Bermuda Police Service, as well as our partner agencies who provide the necessary aftercare and rehabilitation where needed. You can find the survey at safelives.org. You'll find it on the homepage of the Bermuda Police Service and also on the Center Against Abuse. And we hope to have links to the surveys within the media, so it should be very easy. Through the survey, we want to understand from residents what their understanding of domestic abuse is, their level of awareness of domestic abuse support within the local community, their awareness of perpetrator support within the local community, their preferred support and or services, or if they have friends or family who have experienced domestic abuse. What are the barriers to seeking support around domestic abuse? That's the type of information that the survey is seeking to elicit from the community. And again, I have to underscore the point that it's your feedback that's going to help shape and frame these services, or how we change the delivery of our services. This anonymous survey is being managed by Safe Lives, a UK-based charity dedicated to ending domestic abuse for everyone. Safe Lives was contacted by Laurie Shield, the Executive Director for Center Against Abuse, to discuss Bermuda's current domestic abuse offer. Following this contact, Safe Lives were invited to follow-up meetings with representatives from the Center Against Abuse and the Bermuda Police Service. The view being that the whole system review of Bermuda's current domestic abuse response would provide the clearest idea of the way forward. An opportunity has been identified to build upon the current domestic abuse response and build the foundations of a whole family system services. The whole system model will best meet the needs of. And again, you can find out this link, or you can find the link to the survey on the Bermuda Police Service website, Center Against Abuse website, and safelives.org. And we hope to have all those links on the various social media platforms and on the various websites. Thank you very much. And now I would invite DCFS to Actually, no, sorry. Sarah, maybe to share a few comments. Yes.
Good morning. I just wanted to express our gratitude to the police for spearheading this project, being able to enhance to survivors of domestic abuse, and the general feelings about accessibility and support that they have. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Department of Child and Family Services, we are excited about this partnership and the possibilities for the island. Improving the island's response to domestic abuse is very significant for our community. Children tend to be silent victims of domestic abuse. Exposure to domestic abuse either overtly through witnessing the verbal or physical disturbances or hearing it from their bedroom or other areas of the house has a significant impact on a child's emotional and psychological well-being, no matter how young or old the child may be. On behalf of the Department of Child and Family Services, we encourage as many people in the community, our schools, our camps, our counselors, therapists, psychologists, anyone in our community who has been impacted or knows someone who's been impacted by domestic abuse to participate in this survey in order to better understand the problem that we're facing on the island.
Thank you very much. And now I'd invite questions from the media if there are any.
Hi, good morning.
Would you mind?
Thank you so
Okay,
much, Commissioner, for your statement. As it stands, how would the DPS describe its response to domestic abuse incidents?
I think, well, let me just share a little bit of a journey. I think for me personally, it was the death of Miss Marissa Monas that actually sort of prompted me to take a deeper dive into how the BPS was responding to domestic abuse. And as a result of that, I had some meetings with DCFS, Center Against Abuse, internally, some meetings around our response. And I just think from that, there's always opportunities to get better. I think when you look at the number of sort of complaints or issues that are raised versus the number of incidents that we attend, we do a good job. But I think ultimately this is about how can we do better? How can we have a more multi-agency approach to the problem and bring about a better service to the community?
On average, would you say how many responses and per month?
So I don't have a per month kind of figure, and the challenge around domestic abuse is its categorization and sort of monitoring. So when we release, for example, crime statistics, they're based on crime. So you have things like assault, for example. So you can count the amount of assault incidents. It's a bit of a challenge in terms of how you define what is a domestic abuse situation. Recently, we have just put what we could call a flag in the system. So no matter what the incident is that you're attending, because it can present very differently than sort of what it ends up to, we have a domestic abuse flag. And I can say that in 2020, there were 305 times where that flag was ticked. In 2021, there were 148, and year to date for 2022, there are 208 occasions where that flag has been ticked. So I think it's important to understand that in the police, we have a general sort of, we would call them domestic. Now that could be a father and son situation. It could be two people living in the same household, and it could be in a traditional sort of male-female relationship where the police are called. One of the things that we want to do as part of this initiative is develop a richer picture around what domestic abuse looks like, and in line with the survey, get the feedback from the community that helps sort of shape the direction we go in and how we may wish to modify some of these services.
Yes, and just to give you a picture for the number of referrals that we get, the majority of the referrals that the Department of Child and Family Services receive come from the police, and it will be for children who are exposed to domestic violence in their families. So in 2021, we had 168 children referred for exposure to domestic violence. And in 2020, we had 197 children referred to the department by the police for being exposed to domestic violence within their family. So that's just a picture of children that are being exposed to domestic violence that are being reported. It's probably underreported because the primary referral source is the police.
Thank you for this, Divorce. Just in terms of the office survey, those who may be frightened to see further one out, are there other ways that potential victims living with the viewers to access?
So it is an online survey. I think that provides the greatest opportunity for the greatest number of individuals to respond to the survey. But bearing in mind, you can fill in this survey on your phone. You could go to somebody else's house. There's a lot of opportunities, providing you have access to the internet, to somebody access the survey to. But it is only it's being run from the UK, and that is the way it's being run.
Yeah, and my last year here for me, my first out to say that my next question. We had this question earlier this year. And a lot of the responses on that our team in real life. The issue is with something that just involves as a kid, but when they call me that's happening in the health, it's not really that violent. And so my question of the parents should, if they're going to be some sort of class and course that they really in some of respond to the
Sure, if you want to. I can follow up.
Fair question. I just wanted to express from Central Gates Abuses side that we actually do currently hold trainings for the police. We work close with the police where we hold trainings to kind of express our roles. Women's resource person, clear that up, and then also make it known to survivors when they come on the scene of an incident to express to them, this is not you taking a statement. So kind of to clear up the misunderstandings, because I think the general public might not necessarily know the process that you need to do with the police. So we are working closely with police officers to do so, and also whenever we speak with survivors who come to us, we try to understand. We did a few, I would say, in May. Like three training.
Once we complete these surveys, the next step for Safe Lives is to come and provide training for the community service and all other service providers as well.
Can you repeat that? Is it Safe Lives or Save Lives?
Safe Lives, Safe Lives.
Did you want to come on, Commissioner?
Right. So I just think also, police officers know, what to do. Certainly when a crime has been committed, that's, bread and butter, what we do every day. I think one of the challenges that domestic abuse creates is sometimes there's some reluctance. I think police officers generally could be more empathetic in their response, so they instill confidence part of the survivor in their ability to continue or progress that kind of crime. But I don't think it's a question that police officers don't know what to do. I think there's opportunities to better communicate that and be more empathetic in our response, because really dealing with crime is like everyday stuff. I mean, that might be something we can explore, but it hasn't formed part of it. These surveys have been done in many different jurisdictions, and they're largely based. But thank you very much for that, and we can consider is there a way for us to break it out and then collect.
Sure. From a police point of view, what could you do?
Around domestic.
Right.
Yep. So I think, obviously this is a start. One of the things that we've really recognized is that a multi-agency approach is really the better way to combine resources and to get multiple perspectives from service providers so that we can provide the most holistic response as a community. So it's not just the police that are, involved in this, but there's a number of other helping agencies and resources. So working closer together is definitely number one. We're looking at improving some training, and more importantly, part of the survey, getting feedback from the community about what it is that we can better meet.
But as the police, what could you do?
Like I said, multi-agency approach, increased training, increased awareness of our officers.
Okay. 208 this year instances. For only 7 months a year. Is this situation under control?
I don't think it's a question of whether it's under control or not. Domestic violence can rise and fall according to conditions that exist. And, from my perspective, what's important is that we demonstrate to the community that we take this matter seriously and we respond in a way that best meets our needs.
The viciously exciting policy. What are you actually going to do about it?
I don't really know how to answer your question. This whole press conference has really been about what the response is. I've sort of told you where me as an individual, as a leader of this organization, sort of really took a deeper dive into what our response is, and to even remotely suggest that this is a box ticking exercise.
What would you say though to the woman actually happened as well? Situation.
Well, I've certainly asked people to come forward. If violence is happening in the moment, 911 is the call to make. If there's a little bit of an opportunity, between that kind of an incident, and there's a number of helping agencies that exist, and good start. And that's right. All right. Thank you very much.
Just to clarify, what was outlined here today is the way forward for what is about to occur. The Bermuda Police Service, of course, cannot prevent domestic violence. The Bermuda Police Service and the agencies you see in the back of us here all work together to help prevent against it. But to say that it's because these are personal decisions that are made by individuals, just as individuals choose to drive at 117 kilometers per hour, the police can't enforce against that. So again, this is the foundation for what the approach is going to be going forward, dealing with domestic violence. And it is by far underway anything as suggested as a box ticking exercise. So we urge the public to get involved and participate in this initiative. You are going to help us formulate the plan forward dealing with this issue. Thank you, members of